And good evening, everybody. Welcome into Week 7 of the Friday Night Red Zone. I'm Aman Chabra, pumped again for a very full night of high school football. Day 1 of training camp's usually all about Peyton Manning and the excitement for the upcoming season. Day 2, let's talk about the rest of the team.
How is the whole experience, la experiencia en todo? How has it been for you guys? ¿Cómo ha sido?
Probably wondering what I'm doing suiting up against him because, as you can see, he's got such a huge size advantage on me. Do you know that if you bring pea shooters into the town of Billings, Montana, you have the risk of getting them confiscated by police? We are live at the 2012 Junior College World Series. Day 4 almost coming to an end, at least if this game will ever decide to end. We'll talk about it coming up here in just a second. I decided to challenge her. I'm not sure why. Mainly, I just wanted to play a little bit of golf. However, while they are off to the best start in all of the major leagues right now, to these Rockies, a good start is just that, a good start. And welcome back out here to Stoker Stadium, the 4th edition of Chump the Chop. A very rainy day here, and I'm with Aaron Walway from Central High School. We are going to have a little hurdling contest. Dream season for the classification's newest member, the Cedar Ridge Bruins, continuing to make headlines here. And welcome back, folks. I'm Aman Chabra coming to you from Legacy Stadium in Aurora, Colorado, site of the 3A State Football Championship. And good evening, everyone. Welcome into Week 10 of the Friday Night Red Zone. Tonight, 2 very different scenarios. First off, the postseason beginning in the 5A classification, and 2 of our local teams, Grand Junction and Fruita Monument, both of them involved in one way or another. One of them here, the other on the road. We'll check in with them in just a little minute. The postseason also beginning in 2A, 1A, and the 8-man classifications this weekend. We'll preview very full Saturday of playoff games in this show as well. But we'll start with the final games of the regular season for teams in 3A tonight, as well as 4A. A handful of local squads looking to improve their playoff standing heading into next weekend's postseason openers. And we'll start with the top-ranked team in all of 3A in the state of Colorado right now, the Rifle Bears, looking to finish with an undefeated regular season for the 2nd straight year. However, their final game, definitely no cakewalk, at least on paper, as they welcome in the 8th-ranked team in the state right now, the Devils from Eagle Valley. Let's head out to Rifle, pick this one up first quarter, and who else getting it started for the Bears? Ryan Moeller on senior night, doing his thing, searching, weaving, finding, and bursting his way into the end zone. Rifle leads by a score of 7-0. And then it's Moeller's heir apparent in the backfield, Kellen Lee. The junior sensation says, okay, Ryan, you go right, I'll go left, or the other way around, and we'll both end up in the end zone, and we'll be up 14-0. Now, from first string to second string, and now to third string, Wyatt Kenyon. He's into the highlight for the first time this year, up and over the goal line. Rifle putting this one on cruise control tonight, and if you don't believe me, just look at the way Ryan Moeller coasted into the end zone on this one. They would lead 52-0 at the half. And then they would cruise through the second half with the JV kids. 52-13 is your final. Rifle to host a playoff game next Saturday at 1 p.m. at home.
The best local sports coverage. KJCT 8 Sports.
Well, it may be too early to say that this week is do or die for the Grand Junction Rockies, but with a recent 1-4 road trip in Utah, the Rocks have fallen from a solid 2nd place spot down to the bottom of the division, where coming into tonight they were tied for last with the Orem Owls. And as luck would have it, Orem in town again tonight, and early on Josh Mueller on the hill going to get some defensive help from Juan Sediaco. Gobbling up the chopper, tags out the runner, throw to first, double play. Rocks getting out of the first unharmed. They would not get out of the second without problems, though. Anthony Bemboom, the looper to right, that'll drop in. Jared Parks coming in to score. Owls score 2 in the inning. They take a 2-0 lead. Rocks respond, though. Bottom 2, Ben Waldrop at the dish. Big night for him. A base knock here. Jeff Popick CMU's finest coming in to score. Rocks cut the lead to 2-1. Then bottom three, David Dahl at the dish. Rocks' first-round pick coming through again. Base knock to center. Another run is in as Matt Wessinger comes in to score. We are tied at 2. Dahl would score the go-ahead run later in the inning. Rocks would give the lead right back top 4. But then Ben Waldrop says, "Don't worry, fellas, I got us tonight." The drive deep and gone. A 2-run shot. Rocks back up 5-4. And then in the 6th, it's Waldrop again. Another no-doubter. 4 for 4 on the night. 2 home runs. 4 RBI, and the Rocks are back in the win column. 7-5 tonight, your final. They take on Orem again tomorrow. Game time, a special start time, 6:30 for the 4th of July from Simplesio Field. As for the big club, also trying to bounce back tonight in St. Louis against the Cardinals, and again, it's their former teammate, Matt Holliday, getting the best of them. Bang, that one's deep and gone. A 2-run shot to left. Cards out to a 2-0 lead, and then on the hill, it's Joe Kelly doing some good work here. Going to get the strikeout of Chris Nelson to get out of the inning, but he would run into some trouble in the top of the 3rd. 2 men on for Tyler Colvin, and the young gun going to be doing it again for the big club. This ball, bang, deep and gone. A 3-run shot. Rockies taking a 3-2 lead, and their pitching would keep it that way, surprisingly. Rocks getting the win tonight. 3-2 is your final. Finally, bet you didn't know there was such thing as a national champion of marbles, right? Well, at least I didn't until today when I met 13-year-old Caleb Isaacson from Gunnison. He's an absolute phenom at what he does, and he showed it at the national championships in New Jersey over Father's Day weekend, taking home the national title against hundreds of other kids from all over the country under the age of 14. And as a result of winning, Isaacson, get this, going to be inducted into the Marbles Hall of Fame at that tournament next year. And earlier today, he talked to us about what it was like to call himself a national champion at such a young age.
Just hitting a marble out can cause so much happiness is sort of what I thought. It's like, this is crazy. It was lots of fun playing in the tournament.
It's always fun when you win. It should be fun because we're going to be challenging him to a Chump the Chop later on in November, so make sure to tune in for that. All right, that is a look at sports. We're back after this. At the end of last year, I highlighted the Grand Valley Cardinals football team as the 8th best sports story of 2012, and for good reason. They were a great comeback story, returning as a state power after 2 years in mediocrity. Well, here in 2013, the Cardinals are providing us with yet another great comeback story, not on the gridiron, but actually on the diamond. And when you hear about what the young man involved, Jacob White, has been through to get to where he is now, you'll wonder how any other story could beat this one as the sports story of the year for 2013.
I don't know how to put it in words. It's the worst time ever.
Baseball means so much to him that he does everything he can to get out there.
In sports, it's often the simple things, like a game of catch, that go unnoticed or underappreciated. That is, until the capability to do so is taken away.
It just still feels like I'm dreaming or something like that. That couldn't happen to me. That didn't happen to me.
Watching Grand Valley High School football star Jacob White dominate on the gridiron in 2012, no one thought that in the coming months he would be in the fight of his life to do something so basic for athletes of his caliber. Not just play catch, but even take a step.
It's rough to think about. I don't like to bring it up in my mind, but I remember pretty much everything about where I got hurt and when I woke up.
Halloween 2012. 4 days before White was set to captain his Cardinals in their first home playoff game in 6 years. The senior was involved in a freak accident in the school's auto shop, in which he was pinned up against a wall by a car which had accidentally been put in gear.
It was just awful. Remembering that pain of all that, it's unbearable to think about.
The accident caused serious damage to White's leg, even severing a major artery, and had some doctors believing initially that he might not even make it through the night, let alone keep his leg. However, after 4 surgeries and months of rehab and treatments, both at the hospital and at home, not to mention learning how to walk on that injured leg again, Jacob is miraculously back on the field of play and doing everything he can to return to being the Cardinals' best overall baseball player, both in the field and at the plate.
Hitting, you can't even tell that there was an accident. I mean, he's pretty solid there at the plate.
And while he's not all the way there yet,
it's just his fielding, little lateral movement and speed is the only thing that you can notice.
The small setbacks haven't affected White's resolve, and the support of his friends has been a big part of that.
They didn't want me to feel like I was different. They wanted me to act like I never missed a thing. Nothing changed.
And even though that brotherhood has not yielded much success in the win column so far, the biggest victory for Jacob White happens every time he trots out to the infield, not just to play catch, but to play the game that he loves so very much.
I mean, there's a lot of kids that would just give up on the season, not even want to come out and play.
It's a miracle. I wouldn't give these days up for anything, because if I gave up, then I wouldn't be anywhere close to where I am now.
Now, Jacob White believes that with another year of work, he can be back to 100%. His biggest goal, though, is to get a scholarship to play baseball at the college level, preferably at a Division I program. But in what he's been able to accomplish so far from where he was just a few months ago, White definitely an inspiration to us all. And for that, we salute his efforts and wish him the best of luck in all his future endeavors. All right, and that is a look at sports. We are back after this. Day one of training camp's usually all about Peyton Manning and the excitement for the upcoming season. Day two, let's talk about the rest of the team. How are the rest of the orange and blue getting ready for this upcoming season, and what Broncos fans and players hope will be a trip to the Super Bowl.
Thank you so much, sir.
While Peyton Manning will sell tickets and score points for the Broncos this season, if the team wants to win a title, it's going to have to start on defense. Granted, that hasn't been the easiest of subjects for the Broncos so far. Not only was it a defensive blunder last year that potentially cost the team a chance to advance in the postseason, but a loss of sackmaster Elvis Dumervil and now the potential suspension of Von Miller have the team's defensive side of the ball littered with question marks.
Nobody's got a starting role. You know, everything is a fight and everybody has to compete, and to me that makes everybody a better player.
However, it's not like the Broncos aren't without talent on that side of the ball. Wesley Woodyard is going to be expected to hold down the fort with the linebacking core should Miller miss the first 4 games of the year. And in the Broncos secondary, Quentin Jammer and Dominic Rodgers-Cromartie quickly figuring out that despite being new additions, they can be a big help to the likes of Champ Bailey and the other veterans with the Broncos on that side of the ball.
I mean, the competition is wonderful, you know, just knowing that, you know, when you come out, the next guy gonna fill your shoes or do the same job or even better job than you. So it's a good, nice, healthy competition that we got back there.
The pieces are in place for this defense to be great. I think, you know, we got to come in on a consistent basis, put pressure on the quarterback, which, you know we can do, and we have to play well in the back end.
And speaking of new additions, wide receiver Eric Decker says things with Wes Welker are coming along nicely on the offensive side.
He's a guy you have to watch out for because he's so good in the slot, and that's just going to open us outside, and I think it should open our running game, and that's what we need to do is complement our passing game with a good running game, and again, that's what makes a good offense. With all the time we got in training camp, in the film room, that's what it's for, is to get better, to do the walkthroughs, to transfer it over to practice, and make sure that you get on the same page within this 4 weeks.
In Dove Valley, Aman Chabra, KJCT News 8 Sports.
And we are out here at Stoker Stadium for another edition of Chump the Chob. I am joined here by Jake Sebesta, the kicker from Central High School from this past football season. And we're going to have a little kicking contest to see if I can kick the ball as far as some of the other kickers here on the Western Slope can. I've seen Jake kick. He's very talented. We'll see if I am any match for him at all. What we're going to do as far as this contest is concerned, we're going to start right about where we're standing, just a little bit past right over here, which is extra point distance. And then we're going to move back in increments of 5 yards and just see how far we can go. First one to miss, if then the next person makes it, then they win. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens. I want to thank Jake for coming out here and wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
All right, let's see what happens.
don't know if I can go much farther. Got it for 40. This is the longest I've ever kicked a football ever. The last time I kicked one this far was 10 years ago. So let's see. It's on target. I just don't have enough leg. All right, so 45 was the magic number. Jake nailed it from 45 yards. I came just that short. So unfortunately, once again, I have been chumped here by one of the best athletes on the Western Slope, Jake Sebesta. And as a result of winning and participating in this, you'll be getting $20 to Honey Baked Ham, who is a proud sponsor of Chump the Chop here on KJCT News 8. How does that sound?
Pretty good. Thanks.
All right. Also want to talk to Jake about, he's a multi-sport star at Central. Not only does he kick for the football team, he also scores goals for the soccer team. So talk about, you're only a sophomore. What does the athletic future hold for you next year and the years to come?
Well, I'd like to play both next year, but I guess that's up to the coaches. So we'll see what has to come.
All right. I want to thank Jake Sebesta again. Congratulations on chumping the Chop. And looks like I'm not having a very good go this month, but hey, it's fun either way.